Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I am Grandmaster Shaymin, and today we have a brand new series coming your way. I hope you guys enjoyed the Sakura Cupid series, but we're right on to the next one, which is a relatively new still visual novel called The Sibling Experiment, which I mean, I was curious about, but I don't know. That's probably going to be some incest is wincest, but I don't know. It was relatively cheap and relatively new, so I mean, fuck it, right? So looks like we're pretty solid on that regard, and it has a bunch of different endings here, as you could probably tell. I want to go for this ending right here. I think we play as one of the girl main characters, and we could potentially end up with Skaters Forever, the Jono's romance ending, I think. Wait, no, that's the brother too, huh? That's also the brother. I don't know. I have no idea what to expect. I have nothing to expect. We're just gonna go into it. Oh, yep, see, we get to play as one of the girls, and I guess we get to make our brother fall in love with us. Or one of the two brothers to fall in love with us. I'm not really sure. Shit. I really want these two to end up together. I don't know if they can, though. Actually, might as well double check while I'm here. Let's check out the endings. Two playable protagonists. I don't even know if looks like you can get it for free. I think we know that already. There are 8 endings. If you get stuck in the game, you can check through the walkthrough. But that's the thing, is I want the two girls to end up together. Is there a Yuri ending? That's all I want. I don't know. I like Jasmine. She seems more up my style. TJ's kind of a tomboyish type, I assume. Yeah, I'm definitely more of a Jasmine. But the best mysteries are often remain unsolved. Is this going to be yet another one of them? I hope not. I always been one to try and find a logical answer for the unexplained. But I have to admit that there was something surreal about it, supernatural even. You think it was God? You're funny. Well, if it was his doing, he sure as heck taught me a lesson. Though If anyone ever needed to be taught a lesson, it would be the last person. I would be the last person on the list, or so I thought. Can you really blame me, though? Top-notch school performances, on fleek appearances without a hair out of place at any given moment, killer sense of fashion, and yeah, that's about it. I never really reflected on myself before this took place. So it didn't occur to me that I had never had much going on. As far as I cared, I was perfection, and there wasn't much point in perfecting perfection, was there? Wow, man, she is a self-centered... Anyway, what life I had could be considered good, if not for this one giant obstacle that was always tested my patience and tainted my reputation as one of the coolest kids at school. The one and only, this noob named Eric. If I had the powers to, I would surely have cut him out of my life, and God knew how many times I was, in fact, scheming on that. Dropping him off in the middle of nowhere, sending him flying across the ocean, anywhere, I didn't care, as long as I could keep him as far away from my sanitized, highly hygienic belongings as possible. But there was one little thing hindering me from doing that, aside from me not having a driver's license or living anywhere near the beach. We lived under the same roof. Even more troublesome, we shared parents. Well, yes, in other words, he was my brother. 1 month previously. Thursday. Like you and any other girl out there suffering with a male sibling, I've had my own share of annoying brother problems. To name a few, well, breathing around my favorite clothes. Damn. Fuck. Refusing to drive me places. Yeah, what a douche, right? He's not your chauffeur. Damn, what a dick. Being in a constant state of undress in front of my friends. I mean, that is kind of awkward. And using my roll-on deodorant on his body. Yikes. It wasn't like he couldn't get his own. He was just that kind of nasty. It was nothing short of a miracle that I had survived the last 16 years of my life with him. Eric? Hey, Asus. You left your toenail clippings all over the coffee table. You're not even civilized. Whoa! He left... Ew! That's disgusting. He sniffed his armpit and looked at me disinterestedly. What? I'm plenty civilized. Case in point. Really? That's... What? Oh my god. I have food on that table. Food! Food and disgusting toenails do not mix. Why the hell did you even clip your elephant toenails in the kitchen anyway? Take that to your little D&D cave upstairs. Wait, D&D cave? He plays Dungeons and Dragons? Yo. I mean, that's not terrible. Dungeons and Dragons is a pretty legit game. I don't know what you're freaking out about. Say, have you ever tried eating toenails? I already don't like this guy. Can you punch him in the face, Jasmine? What? The very fact that you asked that, you have the nerve to bring that up. Then how would you know they don't mix? Toenails could be a nice sandwich. Oh my god, you're a dick. Ooh, berry jam sandwiches, things and toenails, yum. Want to try one? I'm feeling a toenail sandwich right now. This is obnoxious. The fact is, I mean, this probably happens. I don't know about that extreme, but if these aren't enough, I haven't clipped my fingernails in about 3 weeks. Should be enough, eh? I just stared at him. Was he for real? See, I'm with you, Jasmine. This guy needs a solid punch in the face. So hard, you gotta at least break his nose. Was he for real? How could you even proceed to go on with this disgusting talk? I hung my head, unsure whether to scream or cry. Oh, we got to choose! Well, obviously you won't cry over that, so you better bust his ass. Yeah. I don't like how I can't save on the choices, but whatever, I guess I glared at Eric. I readied my breath and let out an ear-piercing scream. The pig squeals and those trashy metal he always listened to. got nothing on me on this moment. Ah, my eardrums. Jazz, stop it. I screamed even louder at his request. Eric ducked to cover, trying to block out the lovely growl coming from my throat with his hands covering his ears. Jesus, stop. You'll damage your vocal cords screaming so improperly. I didn't stop for another minute or two. At this point, I needed a glass of water badly. Are you done yet? Not yet. I'm just waiting until my voice recovers. You're plain insane. And you're plain and disgusting. You're such a drama queen. And you're such a butt-hurted douche. I think you mean butt-hurt douche. Because, I mean, hurted isn't even a word. Past tense of hurt is hurt. I hurt my knee 3 weeks ago. See? Not hurted. That butt-hurt douche. You're dispensable. Despicable. And dispensable. You know that. How many times has this happened, huh? Dozens? So wait, is TJ, the other chick, like, in a different household? Is that, like, so TJ and the other, whatever his bucket is, like, a different pair of siblings? If that's the case, then I'm incredibly disappointed. I want Jasmine and TJ to get together. They're like made for each other. Jasmine is the teenage drama queen girly girl, and then TJ is the kind of tomboyish type. They'd go together perfectly. Perfectly, I tell you. It's not funny. I hate it and you know it. You're never funny. So can you just stop? When will you start realizing that? You're literally the worst. You're literally the worst, and I wish you'd give me a day. Just a mere day of peace without the grossness breathing down my neck. But even that seems to be too much for you. Ellipses. You really this worked over a few toenails? Over a few toenails? A few toenails. Did you not hear the words I just said? Seriously, my throat was hurting so badly the more I spoke. Any more and I was sure it'd bleed. Screw this. How could those emo weirdos scream for hours? I can't deal with you right now. Screw breakfast. Get your stupid toenails out of my face. And don't speak to me for the rest of the week. Or maybe the rest of his life. I wouldn't have minded. That pothead. Oh, he smokes weed? No wonder he's a dick. Okay, that was a little insensitive. But that explains a lot. Dude's probably high as fuck. Yeah, punch him in his stupid face. Sorry, I'm just not the biggest fan. I mean, it's not a big deal if you do it. I'm just saying, if you were in my house, you would not do that. I said everything straight to his face, and he didn't get a single word into his ears. Did he really have to be that retarded? What are you staring at? Piss off. Managed to avoid him for the rest of the night. I knew this couldn't go on forever. Actually, being a high schooler that I was, I would have to deal with him the next day anyway. Eric drove me to school as per the usual, but had his death metal music blasting the entire time like always. Ugh. Death metal? My eardrums. For real though, what was with all this growling satanic noise he called music? He was such a loser. Man. Outside of having really, really high self-esteem, outside of having that, I mean, this chick, Jasmine here, speaks to me on an emotional level. It was a quiet ride with him constantly throwing me glances and me casually ignoring. We arrived at school. Eric tried to speak to me after a messed up sideways parking attempt, but I didn't let him get a word and I slammed the passenger seat door in his face. The thing about Eric was that he did everything wrong, so when he tried to be nice, it would be even worse than if he was purposely out to get me. For instance, he once attempted to shove an apologetic slice of pizza under my door, but instead of soothing my damaged soul, it just got sauce everywhere. Everywhere, from the door to my delicate carpet, and even more outrageous, all over my new shoes. What an idiot. Come on, man. Why would you slide it under the door? His middle name should really have been Fail. Eric Fail Jameson. Last Jasmine Jameson. It's kind of like a tongue twister of a name right there. It had a realistic ring to it. But if it wasn't Fail, it was but it wasn't Fail, it was Doug. He wasn't a fan of people knowing that, so it had to be our little secret. Or not, now that I'm telling you all this. When like I owe him any favors, it's good mocking material. And as if the 15-minute ride with him in the morning wasn't insufferable enough, he went to do the unthinkable. He tried to approach me at school. I didn't know why he did it. I honestly didn't care. All I knew was I didn't want him anywhere near me in public. He should know better than to approach me when I was in front of my friends, of all people. They were the last people on earth whom I wanted to witness my brother's grossness. On top of that, I had to dent a good Prada handbag by hitting him until he got the hint to retreat and walk away. What a pain. Damn. Okay, that's a little intense, isn't it? Oh, who the fuck is that? Is that your mom? She looks nothing like you. She has green eyes, you both have brown eyes, and she has black hair. There's no way. That can't be your mom. Unless you're, like, adopted. If there was one rule at home that I obviously hated, it was the one regarding family dinners. Our parents were always busy, so they always made sure, then, when they did have time to sit down with us, we'd all gather together no matter what. Did anyone actually want to suffer this dinner together? I sure didn't. Mom and Dad were enough to deal with, but Eric took the cake, with that stupid 20-sided dice of his again, rolling the probability of him being able to take another bite of his meal. I wanted to shove the dice... Oh, yo, he's that insane of a D&D addict? He's rolling the dice to see if he can take another bite without... I really want him to roll a 1 and just get all the pizza sauce all over his face and miss his mouth. Come on, he's got to do that, right? If you get a 1, or if you get a natural 20, you got to eat it all in one bite, man. Go for it. I wanted to shove the dice down his throat. The lamer part? My parents just sat there and continued on their meals as if he wasn't an abnormal freak. They were usually distracted, though, as they were both chiropractors and had their own practice. So that is their mom. They look nothing alike. Like, I mean, if they looked like their mom and not their dad, I would totally accuse the mom of cheating. But that's their biological mother? Are you sure? Are you absolutely positive? You couldn't have made her have at least brown eyes? They had to be green and black hair. And you gave them both orange hair. Like, I don't know, orange hair is really cute in the in anime and stuff, but like in real life it just doesn't, orange doesn't really work. You want more of a lighter red than anything else. Orange isn't, I mean, yeah, you just want it like a darker blonde, I guess, but it's not really that orange. We were only with them for dinner half the week, and when they were here, they were usually talking shop. It was more of an obligation to be there. Their physical presence meant that they were making an effort, which actually meant they didn't have to help mediate between us. They had an idea about how much I despised my brother. Okay, so that means that the other two are entirely different households. So it's legitimately just going to be, like, these two? I'm kind of disappointed, but... Hey, I mean, they all can't be Yuris because normal people aren't gay. But here I am. As a lesbian, so... Oh well, I guess. I'm honestly kind of different. I really want to see what these 8 endings are, though. Like, it says 8 endings to obtain, but it doesn't actually tell me what the 8 endings are. It's kind of disappointing. What is this? It's just a bunch of other shit. Oh, that's the other game. Anyway, they had an idea of, oh, okay. Newsflash, nope. Nothing would ever get better because my parents would never actually do anything for us. They never did, and it didn't seem like they were going to start caring anytime soon. It sucked, and there was nothing I could do about it but sucking up my thoughts and half-heartedly responding to their empty questions. So I got a question. Do we have to romance this guy? Can we just kick his ass? I don't even care if we had a bad end. But just when I thought my day was going to be torturous enough, but then I thought my day... Oh, it got worse. Okay. Of course it did. I don't really like how it adds on with the ellipses. I just started working on some homework on my laptop when the lights flickered off out of nowhere. All of them, in our whole two-story house. I didn't even ponder it for a second before the identity of the culprit came to mind. Eric. I like how it's completely black, but you could just see her. There was no one else to blame. It was him. It had to be him. Whenever something strange happened in our house, the one behind everything would always be that insufferable older brother of mine. It was certain that the blackout just had to be his doing, too. I had to pad out in my socks and cling to the wall and find out what was happening. I'm gonna sew... Eric and everyone else had congregated in the upstairs family room, so they had just been waiting on me. Jazz, sweetie, Dad's calling the electrician. I couldn't help but sigh in frustration. What did Eric do? Try to plug the 3 back massagers at once again? Again? He had 3? What? Why? Mom didn't even blink at my remark. She gave me a serious look, her scolding look to be precise, as if it would work on me. I wasn't 5 anymore. I returned her gaze with an exasperated sigh. Jazz, your brother knows very well that they are tools of the trade and not toys. Dad sounded stern, and I gathered he must have rejoined us. Great. I like how we don't even get the dad's sprite. It's just the moms and the brothers. That wasn't how it seemed last time. Jasmine? Disappointment and frustration in my parents' faces did not escape my eyes. Whatever. What did he know? Eric knew no such thing. Dogs learn faster than he did. I wondered if we could trade him in at the pound. Jesus fuck. All of a sudden, there was a loud chewing in my ear, like a cow chewing its cud. It was one thing to hear something like that in the light of day, but in the pitch black night, it definitely freaked me out. I shrieked and reached out to push the figure next to me away. You creep, get away from me. He just started laughing really hard, as if it was the most hilarious thing when it clearly wasn't, much to my utmost irritation. I couldn't take it any longer and stormed back to my bedroom. On the way there, hearing my parents address each other about me with concern, as if I was the problem in the family. They weren't even going to pretend they cared about my predicament. Gina, are you going to deal with this, or should I? Alright, I'll go. Now my mother was hot on my tail, eh? I heard her footsteps follow mine, but I had a head start of a minute. I didn't want to talk or whatever it was that she had in mind. I just knew she was going to make everything worse. What's gotten into Jasmine? It's either adolescence or you, but I bet it's the latter. A moment later, my mother was already banging on my door to open to my room. After a deep breath, I answered the door. Jazz, listen to me. Your brother has a lot to deal with. You have to understand that. Like... he has a lot to deal with? What is he doing? Like what? Sitting on the couch as soon as he gets home? Wasting his life away playing dumb video games? Listening to satanic screamos? You know how it is with teens his age, don't you? He's older and... She was still talking. Still? She had to be kidding me. How the hell should I have known? And why should I care that he has had to deal with? What about me and my feelings? Oh shit. Damn it, there's no back button in this game! Curses! Not like I actually paid attention to where she was, what she was getting at anymore. There was just boiling rage welling up in me now, and I had to let it out. What should I do? I'm gonna save just in case something, you know, crazy happens, you know? Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Return. There we go. I'm interpreting this wrong, or are you blatantly saying to my face that I'm the wrong one here? Are you even listening to yourself? You're always finding excuses for Eric to justify his stupid ways, and thanks to that, he's never responsible for anything. He'll never stop being as crappy as he is now thanks to you. Jazz, calm down, won't you? You're being disrespectful, not only to your brother, but even me. How am I being disrespectful? How come I don't get to speak for myself? Why do you and Dad know, even Eric? Why does everyone always disregard what I say, Mom? Do you even know, do my words have no value at all? I mean, to be fair, he clipped his toenails on the table, listens to loud screamo music in his car. Like, I mean, and apparently he previously used 3 massagers at one time. So honestly, I'm with Jasmine on this one. I mean, dude has a history of making bad decisions. I don't know about Jasmine's history in terms of that regard, so maybe there's a reason that Jasmine's getting pulled out here, but still, it seems a bit odd. Mom tried to restrain a sigh, but failed. Wow, I could see that she's practically viewed me as a brother. What? Oh, a bother. Yeah, Mom, I don't really have to... I don't really want to have this conversation either. It's nothing like that. Oh, it's exactly like that. We hear you, but you have to start seeing things in our perspective too. Only then we'll be able to live as how a normal family should. Maybe we would be a bit more like a normal family if you weren't gone all the time, but of course that's out of the question. Damn. I did not just actually say that. My mom stared at me in disbelief, as if I had stuck an... Okay, yeah, that was a little much. Come on there, Jasmine. Come on there, Jasmine. Her mouth hung open. As much as me and Eric... As much as Eric and I hated the fact that our parents would were never around, we tried our best to not let that show. This was getting out of hands, both of them. I'm getting so worked up, I felt myself losing my self-control by the second. If you come here just to tell me how horrible of a person you think I am and how Eric is not, you failed. He's a joke, and that's that. Please leave. I don't want to hear any more of this. I sighed again, sounding tired. She must have been tired to have a couple of children like us. I'd be tired too. If I was given Eric Fail Jameson as my son, poor Mom. Damn, fuck. She's just ripping into this guy. I could feel her gaze fall on me for a moment, but I didn't meet her eyes. When she reached for the door, my mom turned around and spoke in a soft voice. You know, we have the letterbox on our door for all your thoughts. You should try using it sometime. That's right, the letterbox. I absolutely forgot. I have to admit, that was a decent parenting initiative there. The idea that they were too busy to personally listen to us, so instead we could put our problems on paper for them to get to when they had a free minute. Good in theory, but if they read anything I had ever written in there before, they hadn't shown it. Like when I wrote a note to put in the box that outlined how my history teacher said I had a promising future career as a teacher. Like, ew, no thanks. And then my mom said that she had no idea what I'd be good at when career day rolled around. Really? Interesting. That's a very interesting thing to get mad about. Thoughts that you don't even have the time to read. Thinking about it got me even more enraged. And you know what? I had every right to be angry. The light flicked back on just in time to give my mother a very pointed look. I suppose I should have been relieved that the interruption to my night had been relatively minor, but it opened up a whole new can of worms. Namely, I was going to... Jesus Christmas, this entire family situation is an absolute mess! But, you know, that's the point of the game, right? I mean, I guess it makes sense, you know, it makes sense. Namely, how I was going to go on living in the presence of such an obnoxious freak, especially with my parents singing praises about him and rationalizing everything he did. Then my mom, with nothing to say to my last remark, came out with the final blow. You can't choose your family, but you can at least you can try. The least you can do is to try and live with what you have. Enlightening, Mom. She didn't understand me like everyone else. I responded to my "if looks could kill" glare with a grimace and finally disappeared behind the door. To tell you the truth, I was half expecting her to realize what she had just said, return to my room, and apologize to me. So when the door actually opened minutes later, I looked up expectantly, only to glare daggers at the head that popped in. I didn't count on it being my brother instead. My brother, the toenail jam sandwich eater, was getting his grubby hands in my space of sanctity. Unacceptable. I grabbed the tissue from the tissue box on my bedside table and paced back towards the expanse of the room to wipe off the doorknob. Knock. This room has no disgusting peg policy, and don't even touch my doorknob or anywhere without wiping yourself down first. Jeez, Jasmine. Fuck. This chick is wild. Okay, I had always been a bit of a neat freak, no shame in that. Eric, on the other hand, was a complete mess. How were we even related again? The chewing in the ear thing was funny. Don't be so uptight. Take a joke, Jazz. It's good for you sometimes. I shoot him a glare. Oh, okay, I'll take the joke. I so would if your stacks of dumb jokes were even remotely funny. You being dirty, on the other hand, is no joke. Quit acting like a slob. I don't act. It's all natural. Ugh. I'm grimacing here at this guy. Damn. I mean, I'd probably go insane if I had a brother like him. Jesus Christ. He sniffed his pits and then stretched out his arms to me. Why does he do that constantly? Like, is that just a thing that people do? Like, what? That's twice for today that I had witnessed. I was done. Are you upset? No, how could I make how about a huge make-up hug, little sis? He started advancing towards me, but I could almost smell his grossness emanating from that Freaky Band t-shirt that he probably hasn't washed in 3 weeks. Fuck. I screamed. No way I was gonna let him. I pushed Eric out the door and slammed it on him. He didn't really protest. Once outside, he spoke with a door separating us. If you weren't such a daddy's girl, I would so... Daddy's girl? If only, Eric. If I were a daddy's girl, maybe Dad would give a shit about how I feel. Maybe Mom. I stopped mid-sentence. I really was getting carried away. Shaking my head, I went back to bed, burying my head in the pillows. I had enough of this for tonight. That was just a usual day for Eric Jameson, the world's worst older brother. Kill me. Alright, well that's going to end this episode off, so make sure you click that thumbs up button down below for me, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. You can find this game on Steam if you want to test out other, if you want to play the game for yourself or play it at the same time as I do, or whatever you want to do. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the series, especially your thoughts on the whole brother-sister dynamic going on here. And we'll see you all in the next episode.